All right, real estate agents, this tip is about how to really walk through the rental process with our clients. Now, we don't do a ton of rentals. We only do, as part of like our services, we do rentals for the people that are like our friends, our past clients, and our investors, right? It's a really good service offering that we do for them. But the thing is that we still, even though we don't do it all the time, you know, it's really, really relevant and important for us to stay like, what are the key factors that they should be considering when they're going to rent, and share that with them so that they feel like when they go to rent another house from you, meaning you help them buy, and then they go rent it again, right? And then you list it and rent it again, then eventually you sell it, that it's a good experience, right? And so I'm sharing this from an agent perspective of long-term growth, and then it not being necessarily your like consistent thing you do all the time, but the value that we need to add every single time that we help a client with a rental. And like I said, for us, we focus on people that are our past clients, are people that we just buy, like an investor who wants to do it, and our friends, only in our service offering. So that being said, here are some of the things that they need to know. First of all, things like, how is the rental process and the application going to work? You know, when somebody comes in your home, you know, understanding also that the sensitivity of the market is much more different, and the $50 and the $100 and the $150 difference, and the variances of what you're charging in comparison to the thousands of dollars that we negotiate and such in a sales market. So that's the first thing. So the rental process for pricing. The second thing is the house still has to look good, right? We know that. So these are some of the things I want to skip through quickly. When we put it on the market, yes, you know, pictures and all that stuff we do. Of course you want it to make look good, but here's the thing. We like to capture pictures, and I encourage you and your clients to capture the pictures, professional pictures, while the house is empty or they have their stuff in the house, because then that's going to look way better likely than any tenant that they're going to put in the house, right? So capture the pictures. If it's not really in the budget with what you're charging them, because usually what we charge for the rentals is much lower, then it can be an add-on service, right? And it's hugely valuable, so we can keep the pictures for the next rental and then when they go to sell. All right, so that's a big part of staging it and getting it ready. So understanding the rental process in that perspective. Then, you know, for us, we use Rent Spree, whatever it is. Have something that's automated so that they go and they collect the data. It's really easy. We're not really in the middle of collecting all the applications on the front end. We just get it on the back end with the information. So explain to your clients, this is the process that's going to be, and then you're going to get the rental application details. We're going to forward it to you. You can take a look at it. Then the next thing that you're going to do is, if they meet like the major check boxes of the criteria, for example, pets, no pets, what kind of pets, how many people are living in the house that you want. Some of the standards that we have are not more than 2 unrelated adults. There is also things that you can put into place that mirror the same kind of criteria that you would have when you're qualifying for a loan. So for example, you can't have the rent be more than 40% of your debt to income ratio. So this is just stuff that we can help our sellers understand, or the people that are going to rent it from you. I'm used to saying sellers, but if you don't really understand those numbers, it's okay. Have your go-to lender kind of outline what that looks like, so that when the applications come in, there's no like discrimination factors. It's kind of just all math, right? Because we want to make sure that we're consistent over time, and we want to make sure that we are also putting people into the house and we're approving applications for people that can actually afford that house. All right, so once then they go into the house and they're looking at the applications more, of course we never want to discriminate, so keep the terms and conditions consistently. Again, for us, you can decide what works for you, but ourselves, a lot of our clients and myself for my properties adopt the idea that not more than 2 unrelated adults can live in the house at the same time. That's just us. And then the pets are a case by case. That's cool. And then not more than 40% debt to income ratio, so we can make sure that they can afford to pay the rent. Okay, so then further, there are things that we can explain to our clients, like again, what is the average days on market that it's going to take where we should expect to receive applications. Then, that's kind of on the front end still. On the back end, let's talk about management. That's the front end and the back end. So what do I mean front end? Explain it to them before the process starts, and then explain it to them during the process, because people forget. So remember to kind of like put some checklists, like what are the pros and cons of having a rental management company? What are the things that they would be responsible with if they do it? And then what are the things that you would be responsible for, meaning you, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, these are the things that you would be responsible with if you take over the ownership of being the manager. So if you become your own property manager. So have that checklist for them, for ourselves. And I encourage you not to take on the complete liability of interpreting that, of like what our opinion is. I just share like, this is what I do because I know real estate. And then my lovely Patrick, my man, he knows how to build homes, right? So it's different for me, is what I say, compared to other people, right? And if you're listening to this as a homeowner or as an investor, right, like you're getting it straight from me, right? So we want to mention the other idea that is, if you want to self-manage, right, a great tool that we do is, have a home warranty on the house, right? So that when something goes wrong, the tenants can call the warranty company. They could perhaps, if you include it in the lease, they can pay the copayment, put that in the lease, and then you take yourself, Mr. Owner, you take yourself out of having to manage all of that maintenance stuff. So those are some of the tips that are important as far as like preparing your house, things to think about ahead of time with like those pictures. Super, super big tip to get those pictures ahead of time so that you have it at the next rental or when you go to sell it. Understanding the process as it goes through, maybe using one of the online rental application services like we do. And then also when it comes in, having some standards that you want to outline. For example, the pets on case by case, however you want to do that. How many unrelated people can be in the house at the same time? What is the threshold of income you need to make sure that they can cover the mortgage? Follow the same mortgage guidelines, which is like a 40%-ish as the peak debt to income ratio. So when you're looking at their income, like here's the answer, it's black and white. There's no like trying to figure out as a owner what the criteria should be and keep it consistent, so we never want to discriminate. So those are some of the things that you want to do as you move ahead. We also send the lease agreement blank ahead of time so our clients can see it. So those are some of the things that are really important that will help the transaction and the process be smoother for the owners and ourselves as the agents. That being said, I hope this is helpful. If you would like more tips and tricks, then go ahead and drop your email down below or send us a DM that says more tips and tricks, and we will make sure that you get that information. Again, if you'd like more tips and tricks, go ahead and drop your email in the comments below. And then if you would like to DM and say I'm in, then you also, we will make sure that we grab your email from you there. And so if you have any other questions and comments, go ahead and drop those in the chat below too. All right, talk to you soon.